So we were trying to figure out the most iconic quote. What is the one that people say back to you?
Well, the thing they ask me all the time is what happened on the fishing trip.
Yeah.
I mean, I get asked that. And the thing I say is, well, would you really want to know? Because the delight is the not knowing.
Virgin Radio.
All right, you've heard this 1,000 times before. This does feature in the Christmas special. I can say that the Christmas special, the final ever Gavin and Stacey, 90 minutes. But of course, you have heard this many times before. What you haven't heard is Rob Brydon avoiding questions about the final ever Gavin and Stacey. So let's continue that theme right now. Let's introduce into the fray here the one, the only Tequila Tilly. Fantastic Mr. Feelgood. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Rob Brydon. These are our Ninja Now interview double acts who go around the world interviewing famous people, and they thought they'd have one match at home today.
Yeah.
Okay.
So off you
First
go.
ever home match.
So, Rob, Uncle Bryn is such a beloved character. And I think, for me, definitely, I think for a lot of people, it's because he is so relentlessly upbeat and happy. What makes Uncle Bryn, do you think, like that? And what do you channel when you're playing him that is like that?
Very good question. Well, he is upbeat, but one of the things I like about playing him is when he becomes exasperated or tetchy. Particularly with Gwen. I love his relationship with Gwen because what has that poor woman done to deserve his ire? Because at times he gets very cross with her. Of course, she was married to his now long gone brother, so they're like a married couple, but they're not. The happiness side of him is just, well, it's all there in the script. And, the things when he says he buys the iPod and he says, I only went in for a nano. It's just I tell you what, he looks at the world like this. And that's an exaggeration of me. I'm not somebody who goes, I know what to think about this, I know what to think about that, that's wrong, that's right. I'm much more, that could be
Who
right.
was that? You were doing somebody there?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Steve Coogan!
So
You mean you're not Steve Coogan?
that's the difference between us, is that Bryn. So I'm closer to Bryn in that sense, so I am a bit like that.
While you're here, let's make the most of Uncle Bryn. Give us three classic Uncle Bryn lines.
Okay. Give me a second, Chris. Okay, let me think. Bryn, he says, for goodness sake, remind me of something that I've done as Bryn.
Have a think about it.
Okay,
Tilly, go on.
Go on.
Well, I was going to ask you quite a similar question, actually.
Go on.
Kind of stole my question. I was going to say, because we were trying to figure out what...
I thought of one. When Pete, Mick is on the television being interviewed, and Bryn sits there, and they watch it, and then Mick isn't on the news very much, and he sits there, and Bryn says, well, I am bitterly disappointed. I love that because it's such an overreaction and he feels it. So, I'm on my way now. I got another one. So right at the beginning of the series, they're going to go up to Billericay for a party, and they say to Bryn, right, and he says, a party in London with people I've never met? Gwen, have you ever heard such nonsense? And I love the idea that the thought of going to a party where there are going to be people there, which is part of the bloody appeal, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Don't
that's
worry,
okay. That was very funny. I loved that. And then
I love that too, actually.
What about when he's talking to Jason about Dave Coaches, and he says, oh, I can't take it anymore, Jason. He keeps coming around here, eating our biscuits, drinking our squash, taking us to bingo on his bus. So that's when he's exasperated and angry.
And he's got a riff going on, hasn't he?
And he gets
He's
into
punchy.
a thing. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So we were trying to figure out the most iconic quote. What is the one that people say back to you?
Well, the thing they ask me all the time is what happened on the fishing trip.
Yeah.
I mean, I get asked that. And the thing I say is, well, would you really want to know? Because the delight is the not knowing.
Or what would you like to have happened on the fishing trip?
Well, I mean, people have all sorts of different... I mean, there's the suggestion that it could be a little unseemly, but then other people have said all sorts of things to me. I don't know, and I'm happy not to know. That I do not have that sort of inquisitive brain. I say, well, I don't know, that's fine. That's a great Jerry Seinfeld thing where he goes, yeah, whatever. Things that don't there's that great episode of Comedians in Cars where I think he's with Chris Rock or somebody, and somebody goes by in another car and takes a picture, and the guy that's with him says, "Oh, don't you hate that, Jerry?" When somebody, and Seinfeld goes, "No, that's fine. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter."
Yeah.
And earlier you were talking about going to school with Ruth Jones and knowing that she was amazing.
Yeah.
Was it a case of when you first read the script for Gavin and Stacey, you were like, yeah, this is it? Or was there a moment when you realised?
Well, I knew it was very well written, but I didn't think that, almost 20 years later we'd be talking about it. I knew it was very well written. I was a little reluctant to do it because Bryn isn't a million miles away from Keith Barrett, the character I did in Marion and Jeff and the Keith Barrett Show. They're both idealistic, naive, warm-hearted Welsh people. And I was still then thinking, but I want to do this and that.
Yeah.
But then, thank God, because it was so well written, I thought, yes, I want to do it.
Yeah, what was the nuance there? So you thought you shouldn't do it, but then you did do it.
Well, because at that stage, this is about 2007, I was still thinking, but I want to be an actor who does this.
But so how come you did do it?
Because I was out in Australia and James was in Australia and we were talking about it together. I can remember us on a bench at Manly Beach and I started to improvise a little bit as the character, which is the only bit of my improvisation that ever ended up in the script, which is at the wedding when he's showing Russell Tovey a digital camera and he says it's got all the settings, look, sepia, I don't know what it does. I think it's broken, it just makes the pictures brown. So I invented that on the beach.
We've got time for one more question,
it's
Felix.
Kind of along those lines, Rob. Bryn loves his technology.
Yes.
5 years since the last episode.
Yeah.
Do you think he's had a go with ChatGPT yet? And how do you think that might have gone?
It's got to make it, hasn't it? It's got to get... Can you tell us that? Come on.
ChatGPT. Well, there was talk about whether he was into air fryers and stuff. I think Bryn would be a bit scared of ChatGPT, as I am. I find it mind-boggling, the thought of what that stuff can do. It's called ChatGPT. You can put anything in, Gav, and I mean anything.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're both amazing. I love you both so much. How many times you watch Gavin and Stacey? Seriously.
The whole thing through at least 5 times,
Amazing.
and then odd episodes extra.
I don't think I could say because I've always just watched
Tilly
it. I
moved
don't
to
remember.
Cardiff because of Gavin and Stacey.
Did you seriously?
It was a big factor. Yeah,
Wow.
Big factor.
Wow. Did you go down to Barry Island?
I did quite a few times. Yeah.
Isn't it great?
Isn't that, yeah? Chris, it's incredible.
Thank God you said yes.
We were doing Christmas shopping the other day, Claire and I, and we were in Selfridges, and the number of people that came up with joy and happiness in their eyes that were saying, and all sorts of different people, different ages.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't wait for the Christmas. We can't wait.
Yes, cool,
what a
man.
lovely feeling.
Oh my God, to be part of that. It's very Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso is very Gavin and Stacey.
Feel
isn't
good,
it?
yeah. Feel
it's
good.
all going on.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to say to people ahead of the final episode?
Watch it, 9:00, BBC One. I think of all the stuff that James and Ruth have written, what a challenge to have to wrap everything up. And it is the last one. What a challenge for them, but I think they've hit it out of the park. I'm slightly wary of, building it, but I think it's...
Why wouldn't you, though?
I think it's wonderful.
Well, I think you're wonderful. Can we hear for Rob Brydon, please? And all the cast and the crew and
everybody on it.
Anywhere near. BBC Wales, of course. Gavin and Stacey.